Joining us right now on the phone is the man who exposed the Bigfoot hoax, Steve Kulls, private investigator and executive director of Squatchdetective.com.
The numbers of sightings, even if you take 99% of them and put them in the trash can, you turn around, you still have that 1% that can't be explained. Well, we need to explain it.
And then this thing walks across the road, makes a turn towards us.
All I can remember is flipping the light on, and I see this creature.
Went to look forward, and there was a big black thing, is all I can call it.
The whole time, the whole thing was shadowing us, right behind us, right on the side of us.
I still see that damn thing to this day. It wasn't 20 feet from me.
You could see it standing from the moonlight in the tree line.
I was just scanning right to left, and it reminded me of like a gorilla.
Get somebody out here. Son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Welcome to Squatch-D TV, exploring the Bigfoot mystery each week with your hosts, veteran researcher, author, and TV personality, the Squatch Detective, Steve Kulls, and from the Bigfoot Research Project of Kentucky, Chris Bennett. Sit back and buckle up as we bring you guests from around North America discussing the Bigfoot phenomena, but not without a few laughs too. Here are your hosts, Steve and Chris.
And good evening, cyberspace. Welcome to Squatch-D TV for today's date, March 26th, 2023. I'm your host, your guide, the Squatch Detective, Steve Kulls, along with my co-host, the man with the plan down there, Mr. Chris Bennett. How are ya, Chris?
Good, man. I tell you, it's good to see you, and I miss seeing you on here. And boy, I tell you, we had a lot of nice weather here in Kentucky lately. I mean, some of it's been a little rainy, yeah, but not too bad. I hope you guys are finally thawing out. Did you guys finally thaw out of the snow, or you still got a bunch going on up there?
Well, I think it was last week we had another snowstorm.
Oh, okay.
But the snow, most of it's gone. We're getting a little mixed precipitation here and there, and it's, you know, bouncing around it's hitting about the 50s pretty regularly now during the day. Well, at night, it kind of creeps down to the freezing, a little above freezing. So we're getting there.
40s and 50s is not bad. You know, I prefer the 60s and 70s. You know, that's a lot better. Been a lot of wind here lately. I mean, we had a lot the first week of March. We had a lot of trees went down all around the area. And matter of fact, I've got some limb work to do here in my yard, which as soon as it dries up enough where I can drive out there without squishing me some new ditches in the yard, I'm going to get out there and work on those. But
yeah, don't mention yard work. That's going to start real soon for me too.
It won't be long. It's here. I mean, you know, I could mow my yard now, but you know, I'm not going to. Get away.
Yeah.
Put it off as long as possible.
I mean, I gotta put in a shed this year. I gotta.
Great. You need to just call one of those numbers and say, "Yeah, hey guys, you know those sheds you guys can bring out that's already put together and everything. You know, bring
drop
out.
It, please. Yeah, just put it right there.
Over there, a little bit more to the left.
A little bit more to the right. Yep, right there. Down it goes. Yeah, that and it's add that to. Everything else, and boy, you know what? It's like I got another speaking engagement that I'm adding to the calendar too for September.
Yeah,
so it's going to be down in Pennsylvania. Just huge time. I got so much on the plate right now. The other thing too is I'm regenerating my private investigation business, which kind of COVID killed.
Yeah.
So now I'm back to doing that again, trying to promote my own business again. So it's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts.
You know, these days, man needs a little extra green coming in to buy the same amount of groceries he used to buy for less money.
Very true.
So
I mean, you gotta. But anyway, let's get to the roll call.
Oh,
and you forgot about that. See what happens when we take time off?
No, I didn't forget about the guys in the chat. It's just we've got so many in there.
We do
already.
Yep. Okay, so let's roll it down. We got first in tonight was Ammon Chris and Grasshopper, and of course we got Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Paul Daglian.
Paul.
Lance Windsor. Where Sasquatch roam. Pete H. Welcome. Daniel Weeks. Angel Nolan. Hello.
Hey, Angel. Welcome.
Sasquatch for life. Howdy.
Sasquatch for life.
Kevin Harder. And Mick Siphon is in the house. Meatloaf and all. Lil Kilroy is still here.
Welcome.
Joe Dryden. Hello, Joe. Laughing Picker. Smedley Do Right. Hello. I know who that is. Nikki over in Harry Man Hoodwinks, Hoaxes and Hoodwinks.
Nikki, hey.
I swear it was Hoodwinks and Hoaxes a week ago. Bigfoot Recon. That's Bob Lemley. Good to see you, sir. Mitch Hartgrove. Hello, sir. Matt from Central Florida. Bigfoot in the house.
Hey, Matt.
Raptor Crazy.
Raptor.
Roger Bowles.
Okay, I'm lost now.
Kaiju Ninja 1985. Hello, Kaiju. Good to see you, my friend.
Kaiju.
Sandra Piper. Hello. Uncle Bones 2.
Sandra. Uncle Bones.
Trying to see if we forgot anybody. Oh, Chance Lambert. Hello, Chance. New to the channel. Welcome aboard, sir. Glad to see you here.
Did we get Roger? Hi, Roger Bowles. Hey, Roger.
Yep. Hey, Alex Petikoff is here. Petikoff.
Alex.
Hello, Alex. Wade Wood. Hey, Reverend. How are you, sir? Low Rider in the house. Yeah. Oh, seeing some names. I think that's the list. So where do I start with this mess?
Oh, boy. This is a good one.
Hey, it's a good one. And if folks haven't caught it on the channel, yesterday morning I released a video in response to a Thinker Thunker video that came out. And this actually, and props go to Darren Lee and Spotchopedia.org, who he made a post on Facebook, and I saw that, and I'm like, I got to jump on that because, you know, we had that whole Ontario boater thing, and there was kind of a kerfuffle over that back and forth a bit about the authenticity. And I had obviously issues with the way he was. Well, it's this tall because that estimated tree size is about that tall because the average tree height is this tall. You're making an assumption there.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like Mike from Tactical Bigfoot Research snuck in as well.
Good to see you, Tac.
So when I saw this, I had to jump on the opportunity to say, hey, this was a hoax. In 1989, it goes back as far back as 1989.
Yeah.
And again, if you look, he picked this off another of those clickbait sites called the Unexplained.
Yeah.
Another YouTube channel. And he goes on to use little markers on the thing saying how, well, the face proportions, you know, it can't be a human. This is a Bigfoot, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? You're right. It's not human. It was a head, a stuffed head in a shop. It was a basically made up thing.
Yep.
And Don Fuller snuck in too.
Hey, Don.
So the video was released, and as expected, several of our folks have posted the link over on that particular video saying, hey, this is a hoax. Here's the link.
Yeah.
This proves it. My fans and my friends, you can stop posting links over to that video because guess what? Thinker Thunker's deleting them. He's not correcting his video. Like I said, an honest person would. He's not going back to say, how can we do things better?
Yeah.
No, it's the same old garbage research that, you know, we talk about. I always talk about A, B, C, and D. And A, B, and C is the story, and D is the final product, which is the video, the audio, the photo, all of that. But A, B, and C are the story. And if the story don't work, if you're not looking at the story of it, and I don't even see where the analysis was, even the video analysis was lackluster. Because if you think about it, this supposedly was a trail cam picture. Well, where's the trail cam stamp? There's none. You know, you're not even going to do your due diligence and try to find the actual trail cam picture. Well, of course not. Not when you can get 51,000 views on a BS video.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh man.
And Mick says Thinker Thunker used to be reasonable, but he's suffering Ivan Mark syndrome for years. No, he's not suffering Ivan Mark syndrome. He's suffering I want to make some ching syndrome. Eyes of the Woods, welcome. So I just got here setting up new camera, which means I'm screaming into the night. Here in Central Vermont, it's just me, not Bigfoot. Cheers to you.
Yeah,
so
technology, gotta love it when it works, right?
Gotta hate it when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I can never stress, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, and for the new people, and I know they're out there in there. Welcome, Patrick. I see. I know since that video, I have received numerous messages from people stating, you know, I used to follow Thinker Thunker, and wow, well, I'm following you here. This is, you know, this is what we want. We want the truth, and that's what we put out here. And I hate to, you know, not candy coat it, but there isn't a lot out there that's real nowadays, because you have to. There's real stuff out there, but you just gotta find it, and it's so hard to find. It's really how should I say it? Difficult to find the real stuff. But and the problem is we have, on one hand, we have the shows that promote fake stories. We have shows that are clickbait that recirculate all these hoaxes and try to say they're real. And then you have people like Thinker Thunker, hence the Facebook Find Bigfoot of this generation. For folks that don't remember, back in 2008, we go back 15 years ago, there was a group on Facebook called Facebook Find Bigfoot, and they did a lot of similar things. But I will say this about Facebook Find Bigfoot. If you turned around and said, hey, this video was a hoax, they would say, oop, our bad, and they would take it down. They would take it down. And why is that, Chris? Why do you think they would take it down?
Well, I don't know.
Because they're not monetized. Back in those days, people put stuff out they were not monetized on.
Yeah, they weren't making a whole lot of change on this stuff. It's not like they were getting paid per hit on a video, you know. But the thing is about those guys, though, and, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not kicking them when they're down. But if you got a gorilla suit from a Halloween costume and you filmed yourself jumping out into the yard saying ooga booga, to them, that was Bigfoot. Okay, they were just absolutely convinced. You know, it was terrible.
And Alex over there says, RMSO, anybody, biggest purveyors of garbage.
Well, there's a lot of Bigfoot story time. You know,
we'll get to that in a minute, Alex.
Yeah.
We'll get to that over time.
Yeah,
we're building here, so please bear with us. So, you know, years ago, there was a website called Bigfoot Anarchy, and it was ran by a Canadian friend of mine by the name of Randy Flipovic. And Randy, great guy, was great at digging information. One of the best I've seen. I've seen a bunch. Darren's good at it. Darren Lee. Steve Stroifert's good at it. Randy obviously was an expert at it. Steve Alcorn was also really good at it too. Now, Steve and Randy now have kind of kind of retired from the battle. And trust me, the battles get tiring. And if you, I can't imagine what Brent Dill is going through from the tall ones, because he's taking on a bunch of people. And I know Don Fuller's getting ready to take on another knucklehead as well. But, and I don't mean to be crass. I don't mean to badmouth, but there comes a time, a line in the sand that needs to be drawn, that I'm here along with a bunch of other people trying to put real evidence, real information out there about this mystery. And these people are laughing in the face of it. And at the same time, fattening their wallets over lies, bad science, and not giving a damn about their audience. I care about my audience. I want my audience to leave and become educated and go out there and understand and not fall for garbage. Because what happens is then people put that garbage out to John Q. Public because they look at the people in the know as experts. And then they start spewing, oh, this hoax video, that hoax video. Well, Thinker Thunker says, or the RMSO says, or, you know, so, or Scott Carpenter says, or you know, we got to stop this. And today is the day I'm drawing again a line in the sand. And I really, if you wondered why I needed a few weeks off, because I needed a few weeks off to let this all percolate a little bit. See, sometimes when I step back, it means something's bothering me internally about what's going on in the community. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes it's family, or it's you know, things got to be done, or life gets too busy, real life. But that's why I needed time off. I needed time to refresh before the fight, renewing the fight. So, I don't know where to start with this.
A little time off to get out in the woods is good too.
Oh, that's coming. That's coming. And, in case people don't know, it's not the first event. I got an event in the end of May, I think September 25th and 26th. I'll be at the Rochester Parafest, 2-day event. I'll be speaking there. But the following week, or actually 2 weeks later, I'll be taking a trip down to Alabama via Kentucky, where I'm going to spend a couple of days with Chris. And we're going to have some filming and some fun while we're down there. And we're all going to bring it back for the channel. And we're going to get out there in the field with some equipment and do a little investigation. And then I'll do the Alabama conference and make a bunch of new friends. I'll be meeting some people I've never met before. One particular person's been on this show a couple of times. And then we're moving on to other events. But we're moving back to research in my area, but I have a feeling I'll be out probably mid next month, hopefully with some video and stuff for this channel. But you see, that's another difference too. See, I'm not just a guy that sits behind a computer and does this. I do that during the winter months because my areas are shut down here. And, you know, I'm not a young man anymore. And for those who don't know, and Chris knows, but I'm dealing with a chronic back problem.
Oh yeah.
Not my lower back, but it's in my cervical area. So it's kind of limited.
Problems suck.
And it's kind of limited the use of one of my arms for a little bit. So I'm starting physical therapy next week, getting ready for the squatching season. So hopefully this will all be straightened out.
Yeah. And I've been finding out that, you know, after you pass your 50s, well, mid 50s, it's a little different than like you in your mid 30s. You know, you can go out there and do 8 to 12 miles and come back in that night. Oh yeah, ready to go. You know, next day, jump out of bed, both feet hit the floor, ready to go. But now, oh my God, it takes like a week to recover from a 12-mile trip. It's like, oh no.
Yep, exactly. Now, I noticed Patrick Barron said, oh crap, I forgot about Dr. Johnson. Well, Let me explain a little bit. People like Johnson, they don't bother me as much because their stories are so ridiculous that their stories are so ridiculous is it doesn't really factor into all of this. But people that claim to be doing all this really deep-seated analysis and claiming that they're great and claiming that people are stealing their stuff, like they're such like a bastion of good information, kind of like MK Davis going off the rails. And they're all doing it for one thing, that YouTube ching. Listen, I'm happy with the number of subscribers we have, and I will do it the hard way. I will put the truth out there. And if that doesn't get me 10,000 subscribers in a week or a month, then so be it. My dedication is to you, the truth. So,
well, see, this channel is mainly to educate people too. You know, it's not like we're not in the Bigfoot stories entertainment business, you know,
right?
Campfire stories and stuff. You know, that's
correct.
That's another thing, and I'm sure they have their own niche, but they shouldn't cross. You know what I mean? Like we shouldn't take a Bigfoot story, a Ooga Booga story, and try to turn, oh, this is real. No. Right. There's a line somewhere. You've got to not cross that line.
You got to draw it. Now, as always, we've promised some stuff, and I don't know really where to start other than we'll start with the second slide, actually, which here you see the last couple of videos that come up. Of course, the trail cam Bigfoot, which has been 100% debunked. And the next one is the Bigfoot fence climber. And for those that are familiar with the channel, for those that are new to the channel, check out our content. We've done 2 videos on the Bigfoot fence climber. I have been there myself. I think that kind of trumps anything Thinker Thunker says. And I was not only there for a day, I was there for a week and analyzing this.
Yep.
That is not 8 foot tall. That's not a 6 foot fence. That's not even a 5 foot fence. Right? That it's walking over like that. And it's also pushing it down. Just check the videos out. You'll see. I even know who the person that perpetrated was that did that. And it just so happens that the gentleman's property that it was on was known for Bigfoot hoaxing.
Yeah.
So, I think Bigfoot Tony's channel is down, to tell you the truth. Which is another great loss. Bigfoot Tony was great. So, you know, it's just incredible how the amount of, you know, garbage goes out there. And, you know, when you're getting 50,000 hits and you have now not even counting your YouTube income from all those hits, but you have a Patreon page that is bringing you in $984 a month.
Yeah.
That's almost $12,000 a year, Chris.
Yeah, that'll pay the electric bills and put some food on the table.
Now, you know what? That's 5 figures.
Yeah.
5 figures.
Well, it's a lot of motivation to not.
Now, there's been a couple of years in this due to selling books and going to shows and having some speaking engagements and one time actually getting paid for a NatGeo TV appearance. I've made 4 figures.
Yeah.
But 5. And I mean, the 4 figures never even went even close to a 5-figure mark.
Yeah.
But, you know, unbelievable. And what is this guy's background? What is this guy's background? Does he go into the field? Does he even go into the field? Chris, do you know if he goes into the field?
I don't think so. I'm not going to say he doesn't, but I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, do you know why? Because when you have a channel that big, you go out into the field and you're not filming.
Yeah.
You're missing out on more money. So if he went out in the field, there would be obviously some video of him going out in the field. Now, who is Thinker Thunker? And I mentioned Randy Filipovic earlier, and he used to have a blog called Bigfoot Anarchy. Let me see if I can pull that slide up. Now, some of the people that have come over from Thinker Thunker's channel to here have told me that, we pointed this out to Thinker Thunker that this was a hoax, and he just deleted our comment. Well, and somebody says, well, one of them, and let me address this too before we move on. Somebody said, well, I understand a host can like screen comments. Absolutely. I screen them on this channel. There's certain people on this channel that do not get screened. They get auto posted because they have shown time and time again that they can be trusted to make a good comment and they're not going to be trollistic. And the reason why is like, listen, I do not mind people disagreeing with me. Yeah. Not at all. I'll post a disagreement on there, but don't be a troll about it. How many times, especially like the Stanlings, they'll come on and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot, blah, blah. That's not getting posted. Somebody will actually put up a little bit of an argument and then say, you're just being a moron. Well, guess what? It's not being posted.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, there's a difference between debate and being rude. There's nothing to debate when somebody says you're a moron. Well, right. That's not the way to. They've already lost. Once you get to the point where you have to resort to name calling, you're done, buddy. That's it.
When you resort to name calling, you've lost the war of logic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are even saying, like Flutang is saying, it's theft. People. Bottom line is people are paying for the entertainment.
Yeah.
And they're paying for the content, whether the content is real or BS or whatever. Unfortunately, it's not considered a crime to do that. And I wish it was. But here is now you want to know what kind of person Thinker Thunker is. This comes from Bigfoot Anarchy, where, and I'm going to kind of raise this up a little bit. It's kind of blurry.
Yeah.
But this is the good old days when you could send a message on YouTube. You can't do that anymore. I do not believe.
I don't know.
But again, this is the kind of person we're dealing with. And I don't think people ever have realized this is the kind of person that Thinker Thunker is. And it goes on to say, Mr. Filipovic, I hope you have an attorney. If those hate posts about Thinker Thunker aren't taken down, you're going to need one. And if I ever hear from you again, you are going to be spending money on legal fees, courts, costs, etc. Okay, big words. Furthermore, and here is what I mean about the type of personality. Furthermore, a fellow that looks like you, as heavy as you are, shouldn't be insulting and attacking people the way you do. It could prove very embarrassing.
Oh, that's not nice.
Really. Again, there they are with the trollistic comments.
Yep. That's pretty bad.
A fellow that looks like you. Who the bleep are you to judge? Who are you to judge anybody the way they look, Mr. Perfect? That really ticks me off. Really. That, folks, is Thinker Thunker. That is Thinker Thunker. Understand the kind of person that makes that statement to somebody. Now, I don't mean to be malicious, but that is wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Plain and simple.
That's bad.
Yep. Not nice. Not nice. Hang on, I'll kill some of these screens here. There we go. Nikki said he did that to you too. Nikki, if you want to jump on, I'll send you a link. I'm going to send it over to your Facebook now because I'd like to hear that story.
Yeah, I don't like people that threaten legal action either. And I don't like that kind of stuff. But, you know, one thing that, you know about me, Steve, is I speak softly, but I do carry a big stick. And I'm no stranger to a courtroom.
Well, hello, the Gale. This is why I hate the whole Bigfoot scene in the U.S. and Canada. Would rather just stick to Australia. Yeah, but you know what? The number of Bigfoot lawsuits it's just a lot of it, I've known of maybe 2 in the last 25 years of doing this.
Yeah.
Fat shaming somebody, really? It's just
that's
horrible.
Wrong.
Yeah. I mean, just
that's real.
But
that's
Nikki,
really,
if you come on, that would be awesome, Nikki. Tell your story because I want to hear more about your interaction with because Nikki said he did that to me too. I would like to know specifically what, because I would not.
That type of post, I mean, you really can't fault someone, their opinion or their view of the facts based on what they look like. I mean, that's really wrong.
Yeah.
It's really wrong.
Yeah. Unreal. I was gathering so much information that I kind of overlooked that particular comment he had made to Randy, or that thing that Randy had posted.
Well, let's talk about the Sugar Flat Road creature head. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Go ahead, Chris.
The photo that Thinker Thunker is using has obviously been taken a photo of the Sugar Flat Road creature head that was from Lebanon, Kentucky. Now that was sitting in a antique store down there. Who was it, Steve, had that? Gosh.
Thank you, Pat. And Pat's in the house. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah. And yeah, that was just a tourist attraction. You get look at the 2-headed calf or something.
And it was originally in Cuz's Antique Store in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah, right on
Chattanooga,
the
Tennessee.
main drag there in Lebanon. Yeah.
Yep. Lebanon, Tennessee. Correct.
That's not too far down the road, And had this been real, oh gosh, hey guys, that's in my backyard. I would have been all over it. About 45 minutes, down the road.
We're getting to that where Sasquatch roam. Trust me, I know who he is, name and all, and that's coming up.
Yeah, but as it turns out, that whole head was a taxidermist creation, and it's something similar. Let me see if I can bring this up, Steve. Something similar to this, if I can bring it up.
Now, Chris, you're making me go to an entire another folder.
Sorry, baby. Hang on.
Here we go. Watch.
There's
the head.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Hey, it's the ass Squatch.
That's a going taxidermy joke. These guys, they'll take the butt of a deer, and they'll turn it into a face. And that's it's fun, but it's not real. And you'll notice on this one, now it was claimed that they had used rabbit fur around it, but I'm not certain. It may have been. I've never actually touched and held that creation.
Excuse me. Ammon Chris said he would like a red circle, please. Red circle, please.
But, that was something that was created as a local myth. And actually, they did have that briefly in the Lebanon, Kentucky Historical Society, the museum there in Lebanon. They had it there for a while. And then somehow it got on loan, or it was leased to a place in Tennessee, over in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And let me see if I've got that available. Let me go ahead and share this, Steve, if I can bring it back up.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi, guys.
Good to see you.
What's happening?
Well, if I could ever figure out how to just share screen thing gets going here. I'm just a little slow, guys. Bear with me.
That's all right.
Okay, here we are. Okay, so now this came from werewolves.com, and I've never been to this website before, but they've got a good photo of the Sugar Flat. Well, they call it the Sugar Flats Road, but it's actually singular. It's Sugar Flat Road.
Bigfoot there on the right.
In Lebanon, Tennessee. And this is what the little business card, or not, but index card they had on there. Is this an alien? Ran over by a car. And the story kind of switches back and forth between 1987 and 1989, but the story is that the guy hit it with his car. He was taking, or his truck, and he was taking his girlfriend home, and they were both married or something. So, blah blah blah, and he ended up going back after he hit this thing and found out it was some kind of humanoid type creature, and he decides to bury it on the side of the road. Okay, and as he's burying it, he decided to take his shovel and cut its head off and keep its head. Well, this has been taxidermied, and to me, this is some deer butt taxidermy. Has a really nice set of front teeth there. Looks like they've got a partial plate put in here on one, a little crooked on the bottom, but they did a pretty good job of making a creature. Yeah. And so this was available to see in Chattanooga for a while because it was leased. Now here's something curious. At the bottom it said, the Sugar Flats Road monster head was also used in a case of Bigfoot fakery. Ms. Petula told me. Now that's the lady that runs the place in Chattanooga. When a photograph of it was appropriated by a renowned Bigfoot scholar and passed off as his own. But that story's for another time.
Another time.
So, yeah.
Would that be Norm Glasser?
Yes, exactly. Yep, Norm Glasser.
But I'm going to follow up on that.
No, that Chris, that is the name, Norm Glasser.
Norm, yeah. Okay.
Yep, Norm Glasser. So, Nikki, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I had a busy weekend and took the day off, so I guess y'all missed me because I've had like 10 texts. Where are you? What's going on? There's no show today.
Yeah, I took
I'm okay.
Couple weeks off too.
Everything's fine. I just had a busy weekend with my daughter because of her birthday. So,
and you're entitled.
I didn't. I do a lot of work for my shows, guys. So it was just taking too much of me, and I just needed to stop and direct that to my family. And that's all I did. Just took the show off my mind so that I could do all the running around and stuff. And then, of course, I knew it was going to happen. She had everybody over to the house after her party. And, so we ended up having a bunch of teens running the house last night and this morning.
Great. Yeah.
And several did not want to leave. I had to it's time for them to go. It's time.
Excedrin headache number 13. excess
Yeah,
teenagers.
and so yeah, I swear they were here till like a couple of them, 2 or 3. But no, it was a good little break and a lot
So
of fun.
you have had fun with the Thinker Thunker as well.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't get really, well, to me, it was a big deal. But back then, this was like, oh my goodness, how long? Well, more than 5 years ago, for sure. Where I didn't have a problem with just asking questions. I was constantly asking, well, because, he's real big on numbers, okay? This is this and this is that. And I'm like, well, how did you get that? How did you figure that tree was that tall or that wide? Because that's what he does. And he just plugs in his own numbers. And I'm like, there's no way how tall that tree is, how wide it is, what its diameter is, and to estimate anything. You don't even know how far away the picture is from the actual creature. And I can't remember which exact one it was. It might have been the throwing Bigfoot, the one that throws that big log. It might have been that one.
You mean the one I did the short on where I had to duck when it threw the rock?
Yeah, something. I don't know. He's done a lot. Okay. And I just question him over and over in the comment section in his YouTube, because this was before Patreon all of that. And he just, went real fast, 0 to 60. Well, you wouldn't know, your ass on fire, all this different stuff. He went real nasty. And then he must have, I don't know. I didn't have a channel. I had a channel, of course, but I really just had a couple of rando videos, and he takes it there. He takes it to your looks, what you look like, that I was a female. I wouldn't know what I was doing. And
he actually said that to you?
A bunch of nasty stuff on the comments. Yeah. Right. Wow. But back then I didn't even think of, I don't think I screenshot. Not like now I screenshot everything, but back then, I just he just showed his true colors right there for everyone to see. And I unsubbed him, and that was that. I didn't make it like this huge thing, but people know, if you know me and you've been following me for a long time, I don't even like to say his name. That it's like you don't even talk about that on my show because he is not worth coming out of my mouth.
And all this started because you were asking common sense, investigative questions.
I wasn't rude or anything.
How do you know the height of that tree? Which is that's paramount to doing an investigation. If you're using little lines to measure things, well, you got to know how tall something is first. You can't just say, oh, well, this Bigfoot is 12 feet tall because this tree here is 38 feet tall. Well, how did you get the 38 feet tall from the tree? And that's just an example. But
that's exactly what happened. I was just wanted to know, how did you get your figures? How do you know? You talked to the person who took the picture, the video, whatever. What was it? I wish I could remember now, but it has been a really long time. But because he went from so fast to ugliness, that it was just so off-putting. I completely that I'm never going to speak about this guy again or have anybody. I don't think I was a fan, but I really did like Bigfoot Tony and Pair Breakdown and a bunch of other ones, because at least they were questioning and putting out the red flags. And, that's all I wanted, was for people to do that. So I thought he was the same way, and nope. I think he figured out that there was a lot of people who want that, but you can't really give those facts. It's not factual unless, like Steve, he went there, he did the investigation, he knows the distances and stuff like that. but it was clear.
That's why I don't care what he says about the Bigfoot fence climber. I was there.
Right.
You know, and I know the size of the guy, the hoaxer. He was about 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, he's a tall dude.
Mike,
right.
Yep, Mike was a tall dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and although he was a hoaxer, I will say, God rest his soul. You know, nobody deserves to die the way he did, and at the age he did. But still, I can't not make that fact disappear that he was a hoaxer.
Yeah.
You know, Now, if you're wondering, Bigfoot Anarchy originally thought his name, and a lot of people around the internet, if you fly around the internet and just start searching, will say the guy's name is Jed White. Was the name of Thinker Thunker, Jed White. So based on that information, I contacted, Randy today, and I got some information in some of his older posts and some of the now posts off the now defunct Bigfoot Anarchy website, which had Jed White on there. But I noticed in something in parentheses. So of course I did my due diligence, which I can do.
Private investigator time.
Yeah, and I know a lot more about Thinker Thunker than a lot of people than you want to know. What's important to know is this: number one, he's not a criminal. Number two, he's fiscally responsible. And there's nothing really bad to say about anything about his background. Fair enough. You know, give him credit. He's walked the straight and narrow. Excellent. But who is he? Because of his nastiness, this is actually who he is Joe Ed White, and there's his picture. And if you look at some of the earlier stuff, it says that, he is on his old Stage 32 page. He said that, he has a YouTube channel with so many subscribers, and he goes by the name of Thinker Thunker on YouTube. And, I got his old Twitter page, which he hasn't been active on. He has another channel called Laughing Crows, which hasn't been active in a number of years. But that is Thinker Thunker, allegedly up there in the on that avatar. I don't know if that's him. I was unable to find that picture anywhere else on the internet, so I'm assuming that is him. But that is a picture that's like probably 15 years old right now.
I seem to remember he used to do some kind of fireside chat or something where he used to ask questions and stuff, and I think he used to have a beard and mustache. I seem to remember.
Now,
it was short-lived. I don't know if that's moved to his Patreon or what, but
I do not know, but I may be able to pull something up from this. Let me just take a look. Yes. My question is, could this be Thinker Thunker? That was actually captured by Google Street. And this was a number of years ago. So could that be Thinker Thunker? Sure does look like it. But I digress. This is who Thinker Thunker allegedly is. Now, I haven't been able to find that picture anywhere, but if anybody can find it, that would be wonderful. But given the necklace he's wearing in that particular picture, it seems to kind of jive with his photo, his background on his channel.
Yeah, that like tribal motif. Yeah.
Right. Well, more towards the Pueblo Indians, because he is from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And that's where I'll go with that as far as that is. Yes, Flotang. That's not a recent picture. That's been his avatar now since 2004. So yeah, that picture
I looked
is
a lot different back then too.
Right. Yeah, he probably looked a lot back different 20 years ago. But you know, if anybody wants to see the head, the actual head in the actual cage, there it is.
Yeah.
So, but yep, that's who Thinker Thunker is. Joe Ed White, not Jed White, Joe Ed. That's his real name, Joe Ed White.
Now, and supposedly, according to Ms. Petula down there in Chattanooga, the head was for sale, but they wanted $20,000 for it. And I'm sorry, it's just not worth that. It does. It has a little.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it has a little infamy that goes with it because it's been in the Lebanon history and stuff. But
here is the question I've been waiting for it to launch the next slide. And that is, how does he have such a nerdy voice, right? Given, definitely thought he'd have glasses and look like some chemistry teacher in the mid-40s. What I think is very much this. Is the next slide is about, and this comes back from 2007, is an animator screenwriter produced an animated parody entitled eHarmony Spoof to be featured on blah, 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 blah. Okay, he created the animated characters as well as voicing them. He is a voiceover guy.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So I think he is doing the Thinker Thunker voice. But I'm going to talk a little, well, he is 62 years old. Let's not forget that. You know, doing my due diligence, I found out that, you know, he is 62 years old. So currently. But yep. But he is a voiceover guy. Maybe not. Tax, and then he would have an IMDb. Not necessarily. IMDb is put out there like my IMDb page. I actually started my own page, started linking myself to my shows that I was in. That's how that started. So you actually have to have somebody put yourself on IMDb. They just don't automatically grab it. It's much like Wikipedia, where you have to submit stuff to IMDb for it to go up. Yep, he is 62, and I'm not going to talk about family or anything like that, or exactly where he lives, or the kind of house he lives in, or anything like that. That, you know, that's all enough.
Don't need that kind of detail. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not outing him or doxing him or anything like that. We're just putting out there who he is, because, you know, that's one of the reasons why I didn't put the green screen up today. I'm a real guy telling you real. I'm not hiding behind a screen name, and he thinks he's anonymous. But like I said, everything gets out there eventually. And, you know, so that's who Thinker Thunker is. So he's not a mystery anymore to anybody. But yeah, it's amazing how money talks, or money convinces, and or money corrupts. Because I don't think he went into this with bad values or bad ideas, but I think the money aspect, maybe some financial distress, you know, may have said, well, you know, wow, I made a lot of money on this. I can't knock things, because I'll tell you what. You know, when I debunk something, it's not as fun as if I say something is real.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though, Steve. I mean, that audience of people that watch his videos, I believe, would be comprised largely of people looking for validation. Okay, somebody that has maybe had a sighting and wants to see other people's, you know, photo evidence or whatever of their sighting, to validate, you know, what they've seen. And then if you take videos that are obviously hoaxes and validate them, oh yeah, this hoax is actually real. No, that's not helping those people at all.
So I'm going to pop this up there just so we can see Nikki.
Yeah.
Kaiju Ninja asks a great question. So is Thinker Thunker really bad at analyzing, or is he hoaxing? Well, I think after this week, he's hoaxing now. I think his analysis are a sham.
Yeah.
Because he had the opportunity, and he's been told a dozen times already by various people, and just keeps deleting the posts, to take that video down and say, whoops, I messed up. This is a fake. This steps over the line to me.
Yeah.
You're going to keep this up purposely saying it's real with your crap science. That's a hoax. What say you, Nikki?
Yeah, it's been going on for quite some time. And in the beginning, I definitely thought that he was just really bad at what he's doing, you know, and I just marked it off as that and moved on. But now, in light of the cha-ching, you know,
now, mind you, we've shown he makes $984 a month on Patreon. Okay, he also has a YouTube membership area, and he also gets paid for his videos too.
Yeah.
So how big? You know, we don't know how big his YouTube membership is. Just don't, you know. So he's making some bank off this.
For sure. But I think he's also a little bit about the recognition and the, you know, trying to be somebody bigger in the community.
I like the fact, well, of course, because if you promote yourself to be bigger, that means more hits, more money, more prestige. You know, he's written a book too. I don't know if anybody realizes that. He has a book on Amazon. Yeah, probably authored by Thinker Thunker, not even by his real name. So when you think about it, he's trying to monetize on all of this. Now, I haven't read his book. I'm not going to pay for it, that's for sure. Because that would just be putting money in the pocket of somebody that's hoaxing the community. So I can't really comment on about, but just the whole, you know, thing about how to photograph a Bigfoot or how to get video of a Bigfoot. And, you know, so I don't know what kind of cockamamie things he's got in his mind, but I find it really funny because he came out with a video about a month or so ago about how people were stealing things from him. And he pointed out Tom Cantrell, who used some of his waveforms. And then he actually accused Meldrum of stealing his mid-tarsal break on the Patterson Gimlin.
Oh my God.
Of stealing that. Yeah, okay. Wow. Meldrum, Thinker Thunker, wake up. Meldrum has been saying that for years and showing that for years at his lectures.
Yeah.
For years. I know. I saw one in 2011. I think that was a little bit before your time, Thinker Thunker.
Yeah, he's got it about it in his book too. I don't know what the published date was on that.
So this is a money grab, and that's, you know, hey, listen, it's cool if you can earn an honest buck. I got no problem with it. All right, if he was doing honest or even misguided analysis, I wouldn't be having this show tonight about it. But the fact is, and I want to pull up my Twitter account as well. And the reason why is I'll show you, because I know certain folks don't follow Twitter.
I don't do any of the social media stuff.
This is what he wants.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
That's right. So I'm going to pull over my But in case people don't know, I did call him out right on YouTube and even tagged him in it at Thinker Thunker, because he does have a YouTube page. So he knows full on that we've pointed this out to him. And that was posted at 8:30 this morning, and the video is still up. So, and then I also made a report again. Been getting several reports at Thinker Thunker removing comments on YouTube in regards to this. So that's that. So he knows very much so.
Well, I think, what we have here is another site for entertainment purposes only, another channel. And it's been portrayed as an actual research tool when it's not. It's actually just for entertainment. And if he wants to put that on there, this is just for entertainment, guys. This is not real. I don't know how that would hurt its channel, though. It probably would. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Oh, there we are. Thank you, the Gale. I know I read it. I agree. I agree. I know I have seen it, somewhere before too, and I've read his book several times. And the amount of information I take in, just look behind me at that bookshelf back there. I've taken in so much information over the years, from the Four Horsemen to John Green, Grover Krantz, Ivan Sanderson. I mean, I have quite the library back there. I'm trying to get some down-to-earth information on this mystery. And that's why when somebody comes up with a video with a crap story to it, I don't even have to look at the video, nor should we, because it just leads to some infuriating results. Yeah, and Mick said the same thing. The problem is it's infuriating because he's putting them out there. And when you put yourself out there like he has as an authority, like putting a video out saying, well, these researchers have stolen this from me. I'm sorry, you're not out for entertainment. You're trying to claim to be a researcher. When have we ever seen him in the field doing any field work? Zip. Sorry about that. Let me just silence this for a second. I just don't know what else to say about him. Now, RMSO, again, another group that started as something semi-legit. I know Kelly Shaw, who runs the RMSO, was on a program at some point, and some people had questions about his encounter, but I never really looked into it, nor would I. I'm like, okay, he claims to have had an encounter. Who am I to say necessarily? Encounters are something sacred to me, unless there's something really egregious. But then all of a sudden, RMSO, the last couple of years, has gotten into show me the money, and unfortunately that's a lot the way people are turning now. I have tried to utilize some of those crappy videos into humor for this channel. And for a while I was doing that, but I'm kind of running out of material per se that I can really have fun with. So I don't want to be stale. I'll cut them once in a while. But that's the only thing I could do with those videos. Just have a little fun with them. Yeah. They're nothing they're so silly or stupid. They're not even worth detailing because there's no story behind them.
Right.
What's their
more and more. It's happening more and more. So y'all be prepared. Just like this whole AI thing is just getting crazy. And technology is not going to get worse. It's going to get better. So, just wait. They're going to be having them walking around and peeking around the corner, and it's going to be all computer generated artificial intelligence stuff. So it's going to get hard.
Right.
Deep fake Bigfoots.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
For
Exactly. What about NVTV? Yep. There's another, just like Unexplained, the Unexplained YouTube channel, not the TV show. NVTV is another one that will post anything, but let's look at this from a different perspective. Thinker Thunker raises it to a whole nother bar, because he'll take that crap video and he'll start adding junk science to it and false assumption to it, and try to convince people it's real, including the Cass River, Michigan crossing. You remember that thing that looked like a rubber suit almost going across the river there, the Cass River. Nick said he can drive over to Whitehall, put a gorilla costume on, let you film me before I get shot. That is, you can use that footage for laughs.
Well, the thing is, if you watch his video, he's doing some comparisons, and he's got a scale on there, and he's measuring things out. That is perfectly acceptable. But, you've got to have the measurements. You've got to know, okay, this area here, this is from the ground to this point is 8 feet. We know because we went there, we measured it out.
Correct.
So, the creature,
exactly.
if his head is 12 inches above that, then we know he's 9 feet tall.
Now, what I did with the Ontario boater video, is I set up a set of variables,
right,
using the unknown creature in that by saying, okay, if this is 6 foot, this is this many feet. If this is 7 foot, it's this many feet. If it's 8 foot, it's this many feet, using that same measurement, and put the variables out there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
you didn't say, okay, this tree is 12 feet tall.
Right. And I also measured the number of steps it took to get across that area. And from there, using a variable, we were able to set a number of different strides.
Right.
And none of those strides, unless the thing was like 10 or 12 foot tall, unless the thing was 12 foot tall.
Yeah.
It made no sense. The taller the thing got, the smaller the stride got.
Yeah.
So it made no sense. And that's one of the, and not to mention the boat wake. That was also a big killer.
Yeah.
That was completely never fettered out. So, and conversely, Thinker Thunker says, oh, the average height of this tree is such and such, so this creature's got to be such and such. Well, what if that tree is a little small? What if that tree is a little bit bigger? It's throwing your numbers way off. You can't make an assumption by using a variable, an unknown variable, claiming that this is the definite height. Right. Even in my videos, I said, we don't know the height of this thing, but if it's the height, this height, this height, this height, this height, this height, this is what the strides would be, and the strides are not matching up to something of that height.
And that's the best you can do on a video to where you don't know the variables, is to give those multiple scenarios of each situation. You can't just focus in on the one you want personally, because there's no guarantee, there's no proof, no evidence that one story that you're trying to tell is accurate.
Right. Now, you could sit there and say, well, Thinker Thunker was right. It wasn't a human, but the problem with faces are they are very dynamic. So a little more so than like arm to leg proportions and stuff like that, which are natural, but some people can have bigger chins. Some people can have longer noses, shorter noses, wider eyes, more inward eyes, round eyes, slanty eyes, receding hairline, not a receding hairline, all of that above. You know, but to use that on something and then say, well, it's got to be a Bigfoot. Look at that trail cam photo. That is a great trail cam photo. Well, if you did the research and you're like you're supposed to be a researcher, you would see that that was a stuffed head in a shop in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And that's
the easiest thing to see is that it was not a trail cam photo for number one.
Agreed.
And, however, he was correct when he said it's not a human. That he's right on. However, that's a human denture.
But that shows the bias.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Either that or he doesn't care, which I don't think he does. Because the bottom line is he knows about it being debunked. He knows about it, all of that. Why is it still there? Why isn't there a retraction? Now, maybe tomorrow, all of a sudden, we'll see a retraction. A little bit late as far as I'm concerned, and considering that you know, you deleted comments from people that were your followers. Let me just change that a little bit. People that were your followers. That's bad news.
See,
that's bad news. Say, hey, you know, say something. Say, hey, yep, we're aware of it. We're going to put a retraction video out tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
But nothing. I'm going to delete that comment. You know, do I think he's that stupid that he thinks it's really a Bigfoot? No. I don't think he's that ignorant. So what does that leave us with? He knows it's fake, but he's purposely leaving it up. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about his audience. He doesn't care about people knowing the truth. He just cares about that YouTube counter clicking up and getting changed. And that's why I kind of laugh at people. And Nikki, I don't know if you've gotten this too, but how many comments have you gotten by people, you know, these people that follow some of these hoaxers that say, oh, you only have so many subs. You gotten those?
Actually, I haven't gotten any of those yet. You know, I've mostly because I know we're in this special niche of the Bigfoot community, and I knew it was going to be a rough road. Honestly, I didn't think my channel would make it past a year, let alone a year and a half. Okay. I was kind of prepared for whatever happened. And, you know, of course, I didn't realize how big the Bigfoot politics were before I got into it, and have quickly learned there are a lot of shows out there, people, that I would love to do, but I just can't, because it would drown my small channel right into the ground before I even got started. Yep. And I don't want that yet. I'm not ready to do that yet. I think if my channel was way bigger, that I might be willing to take more of those chances. But right now, you know, I got to do, just like you, solid work. I'm checking my shit, and I'm doing the work and putting together a show that's not, and now you guys all see me evolve from the beginning to now, is that, you know, now I'm only going to do about an hour worth of my main show. And then I've got this variety thing I got going on the second part of my show. That's people are really, they love that. So that's, you know, I finally found a nice groove to do that. But yeah, there's some people that I've talked to about trying to come onto my show, and they want shit. You know, they just like Mike Patterson. You know, if he comes on, he wants to own your video. He wants rights to the interview.
Oh. Who's that?
And
which Patterson?
Mike.
Oh, Mike Patterson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so there's been phone calls and talks and stuff, but there's more to it in the background than I think a lot of people know when you go to put on a show like ours, you know. So Steve's got a great following, and he's got and he's an investigator for reals, you know.
Yep.
So he's got a lot more tools. So, and my show is more of trying to help everybody remember this. This is what this was. It's on the internet. It's already there. You know, don't forget about it. And to show people those red flags that have been brought out by many people. But people don't like to do the research a lot. You know, the newbies don't know how. So it's kind of like,
well, the newbies that show up here know how.
Yeah.
Nikki, there's a whole new generation every year that gets into it, and then so they see the old hoaxes and stuff, and they think, oh wow, you know, they haven't heard yet. So I think you know what you do is very good. It's very good for the community.
I got to tell you, Flu Tank said, got to put boots on the ground like Steve and Chris and just keep at it 100%. Amen. We'll be putting boots on the ground soon. Now the green of the grass is showing again.
It hurts.
You're already hurting.
Well, I'll put enough boots on the ground for the both of us, Chris. Okay.
Oh,
well, that's okay. You know, tonight, you know, I'm working on one ear because I have an earache on this side, and I can't hear anything out of it because the nice air blowing in the ear and stuff while I'm out. But that's okay. That's all right. I don't have to hear them necessarily as long as I can see them. That's fine by me.
Maybe you have the ear COVID.
Oh, if there's such a thing, I would probably be lucky enough to get it. Yeah.
Eyes in the Wood said there's still 3 feet of snow in central Vermont. I don't doubt that.
What? Oh my goodness.
There's still snow on the ground here. Just a little bit left though. But
and John Gray and myself, we thought when we had it's been years ago now, but we got a big snow over in our area, and we was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be
Amen,
so great.
Ron.
We'll just go there and we're going to find all kinds of tracks, and we'll just be able to follow them right to where they're holed up at, you know. Well, no, it don't work that way. We figured out that even in a hot area, they must realize that when they walk around in snow, they leave tracks. So, you know, we didn't come across after miles and miles of trekking, we didn't come across any other tracks other than deer and raccoons and stuff like that.
I don't even know whether to say this. My air conditioning actually kicked on today.
Oh,
yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and used my air conditioning in my car. So, yeah, we're gonna have I think we're gonna have a hot one.
I remember those days, Nikki. I lived in Alamogordo, New Mexico.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
In January, you would have like a little light, thin jacket you'd wear in the morning, but by lunchtime, hey man, you were in your t-shirt outside.
Yeah,
it was nice.
It was shorts and t-shirts over here for sure, and I'm like, why is it so hot in the house? It was hot.
I know Brent's in the chat, and I had just he must have missed it because he came in late. He said, but earlier I had said that my hat's off to Brent, because he's taking the fight to them and he's engaging in with a lot of trollistic people, and I can't imagine what he's going through. But if he wants to come on, just show me I'd like to come on in the chat, and I'll send you a link over on your Facebook page. So
come on, Brent. Woo-hoo. I'm here for you.
Because these are the guys that are taking the fight. Brent's taking the fight to them too.
For sure.
That's right. And there's Tack saying we'll do some road work with the new thermal. Amen. Yeah, Tack is working on some stuff. He is he's something else. Glad to call him one of my research partners. I'm honored to call Mike one of my research partners.
I wanted one of those thermals like Matt Moneymaker was using in the Escalade. I was going to put one of those on top of my vehicle and drive around, back roads. That was cool. But, I found those things are really expensive. Really expensive.
Sasquatch for Life says the weather here in Chicago has been really bipolar lately. I've always said Mother Nature is schizophrenic. All right. I'm going to shoot you a link over on Facebook, Brent. So let me get that going here.
Oh my God. I have your TV's got Steve on. My phone had Steve on. I'm linked up.
Well, what am
You
I on
see
TV
a drop.
tonight?
Yeah, if you see a drop, it's because I'm turning everything off.
Mick says he should invite you Ed White on your show and give him a chance to either fess up or eat meatloaf.
Oh man.
Oh man.
It doesn't matter, sir, if I took you out first. You have become your own man on your own volition, and you've become an awesome researcher on your own volition. So, hats off to you, sir. But you see, okay, so I sent Brent because I like to hear back on Brent's take on this whole Thinker Thunker thing, and I'd like to know about some of the flack he's taken as well, because this people don't understand that as researchers, when we fight this cabal against hoaxing and misnomers, good God, people just are nasty a lot of times. And I don't know it like I know the standing stuff. Most of the people that come at it are probably standing sock accounts. When I took on the Bigfoot tooth, there was a whole bunch of trollistic things going on. That was also, and the easiest way to find out is this: if somebody throws you some flack on YouTube making a trollistic comment, what I normally do is I look at that channel. I look at the person's profile, when it was created. And if it was created within a day or two, or you say it was created the day the video came out, I know it's basically a sock account. Somebody that, you know, the hoaxer is creating this sock account to attack and try to make it sound like there's people behind them. When really, I don't think there's a lot of people behind these attacks. I dare say that I have yet to have one negative thing come about the whole Thinker Thunker thing, which shocks me. And, you know, again, how to hunt, script, you know, that's why we have the hashtag no scriptozoology. You know, it's very simple how to hunt.
And
oh,
again,
hang on. Let me read this email. This is anonymous, and you can make up whatever you want. And don't do any real research. You know, there's a lot of pictures of you behind nice mountains. There's a lot of pictures of you with dead animals. But there's no real Bigfoot research. We don't ever see how to hunt, do any Bigfoot research, do we? Then we have Sasquatch Ontario, which always has activity every single time they go out. And, oh, they're talking, oh, we are not real. Yeah, remember that? You know, come on. Then we have people like Thinker Thunker who are trying to act like they're being all scientific, but they're not.
Well, when you have the people that validate the stuff like, we are not real, you know, okay, and you have somebody else that validates that, oh yeah, that is really a Bigfoot talking because I can use this scientific jargon here, and that proves that because of this scientific stuff, that it's really a Bigfoot.
And that's the thing, folks. You are not going to see bullshit on this channel. You're not going to see it. If you see it, it's us debunking it or making fun of it. You know, we put 100% into our material. And if, you know, there's only been a very few items, and people may argue with me, but at least I have my argument back, but I will never get personal about it. I will never say, oh, well, you're just an idiot because you don't believe. No. you know, and, you know, people have debated the Vermont trail cam photo with me. And I said, well, all I can say is that this A, B, C, D, E, and I had a scientist look at it. That's all. No hard feelings. It's not, I didn't get the picture. You know, I just analyzed it, and I did an investigation, which took 3 months to do. That's how much time I put into these things. The New York, the Pridgeon video, AKA the New York baby video, that was another months and months and months of video of analysis. I don't take these things lightly. And the thing is, the hoaxes are easy to knock off pretty quick.
And I got to give you credit for that one, buddy, because we did not see eye to eye on that New York baby video until I started looking at your stuff where you took it frame by frame. And I was like, oh, whoa.
Some very interesting stuff going on there.
Yeah. Hey, Brent.
And it's not an antenna blowing in the wind. What's up, Brent? How are you?
Good. How you guys doing? Guys hear me okay?
Everything is wonderful.
You guys talking Bigfoot stuff tonight?
Well, yep. I don't know if you've talked about our dismantling of Thinker Thunker a little bit.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
AKA Joe Ed White from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Yeah, he's making a killing, isn't he, on the whole Bigfoot subject?
He sure is. And, you know, this all spun off of that trail cam, which turned out to be just a head in a shop.
Yeah.
And he's been told about it. He's seen it. We know he's seen it. He's not taking it down. He's deleting all the negative comments. So true to form.
Yeah, you know, it's he gets more donations and more good positive feedback when he's more pro Bigfoot on stuff. And, you know, I think he realized that, you know, that's what he has to do in order to exploit the subject to its full potential.
Yep.
And, a lot of people like him too. Yeah. He's just good at it. He's just much better than some of these other people.
Well, some of the things we've discovered is that he does voiceovers. So the Thinker Thunker voice, man, actually, you know, he is a native Texan. I will say that much as well. So that's where a little bit of his, you know, accent comes into a little bit. He's 62. And he doesn't care. He's not. We showed a post, and Nikki has talked about him getting nasty with her, getting personal, just over asking questions. And we showed a post from the Bigfoot Anarchy blog that existed years ago from Randy Filipovic. And, you know, he basically said to Randy, you know, a person that looks like you shouldn't be saying that, you know, with the weight you have, basically weight shaming him. Saying, you know, it'd be, you know, if people saw who you are, it'd be kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, you know, it's really unfortunate that you can give all these examples to people and he's still going to be accepted and loved, you know, by the community. And it's just one of those things where he's always going to have a following. And, you know, it's just really unfortunate. There's not a lot that we could do for those people, except for give them facts and truth about the shenanigans that he's doing, because people need to see those examples. And I think probably over time he might start losing a lot of those people because he's just not doing a very good job at representing the subject. He's really
and
not.
You know what? I like I told Chris today, since that video has come out, we've had 16 new subscribers to the channel. Some of them came over from the Thinker Thunker channel.
Love it.
Saying I put this out there and he deleted my comment. What the hell?
Yeah.
Welcome to reality. And you know what I also want to say is that, hey, I'm pro Bigfoot too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, that's a misconception that I am anti Bigfoot or I'm a skeptic. I'm not. I'm pro Bigfoot. I've had 2 sightings. I have, you know, fought for the validity of this creature for over 20 years now.
Oh,
That's the first thing. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's I get that all the time. It's like people think I'm anti Bigfoot, that I don't believe Bigfoot's real, that I'm a government agent, but I kind of played into that one by telling people, but I didn't think they would believe me, but they did. So now some people think I'm a government agent out there, like Mr. Duffy and stuff, thinks I'm like a government agent, thinks I'm a government agent trying to like I don't know, man. So it's weird. Yeah, I get those too.
Yeah, we know it's not real.
There's Mr. Duffy there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you get all those different things, but you know, you just got to understand the source with it. That's how I don't have any of like the negative stuff that comes at me from talking about these hoaxers. That's why none of it really bugs me. Like, because I think it's you know, you just got to understand the whole situation and how belief works and how cult works and environment works and that whole thing. And you know, that's all you can really do, and just laugh, point and laugh. Like the whole thing with Mark Zaski, that was so much fun. Like I thought he was going to last a little longer than he did, but now I'm the bully, and you know, he's my victim. Which, you know, it's weird he could be the bully and the victim in the same video. But
I mean, to badmouth a widow. You know, this guy badmouths Carrie's widow.
Best friend's wife.
As Carrie sent him some equipment for loan.
Mm-hmm.
And the widow asked, hey, can I get that equipment back? And thus started the fight. And he's sitting there lambasting a woman who just lost her friggin' life, her husband,
mm-hmm.
who, very clear from the videos, Carrie was a big family man. Carrie loved his family, and his family loved him. And to die so tragically at his age, and then for this guy, this chowderhead, to sit there and lambaste her and call her names and do all just horrific.
Well, it is, but it's also the sign of a narcissist. That's what Mark is he's a narcissist. And, you know, you've just seen his behavior, and narcissist is really prevalent in this subject. You know, I was actually going to do a video on it, you know, and it's just really prevalent with a lot of these people making these claims. And if you understand how to deal with a narcissist, which I have an immense amount of experience, you can better deal with these people. And that's why it's like some of these are like really successful with some of these things that I'm doing with, like talking about some of them, and like with Mark and David and stuff, bringing out information, bringing receipts, you know, kind of like what Nikki does and what you've been doing for over a decade. So I'm just kind of, you know, learning from you guys, literally, because like Nikki was one of the first people I watched, and I'm like, that's, you know, she was talking different about the subject. So she was literally one of the first people I started to follow and listen to. Then, you know, came across you, Chris, or Steve, sorry. And you know, so it's like, yeah, you know, you learn from the people that are in it, and we just try to do the best that we can, and, you know, put our emotions aside and realize kind of what we're dealing with in a lot of these situations with a lot of these people that are hoaxing and making up stories, because a lot of those people are just innocent, and they don't really need our attention because they're in the subject for personal reasons. They need it for personal, not a manipulation or a narcissistic thing, but they just need it for personal growth and a way to escape maybe a trauma that they're living, dealing with in real life. But yeah, you know, I totally understand what you're talking about. Like I've been called so many different things, like, and you get the same type of comments like, oh, you're just jealous. Oh, you're just trying to make a name for yourself. You know, it's, yeah. And even people that you think are,
I've heard that too, which is kind of funny because,
yeah.
Like, oh, what? I'm jealous of what?
But, you know, that's what these hoaxers, right, that's really their only real responses, and their enablers pick up on that and will go regurgitate that. Like with the whole Randy Brisson thing, you know I keep talking up the next video. It's like, geez, when am I ever going to release it? But I am. But man, that there's going to really show what he's a true liar. I mean, I have proof that he's lying. I have proof of him like doing some really low down stuff where it's like, if you go out with this guy, you should know this stuff. Literally, you should know this stuff because, you know, especially, you know, yeah, you'll just save it for the video. But, you know,
Don
this
says
is
he's got a pile of receipts.
Yeah, you know, and you know, but we should know about these people. We should know that Randy Brisson's a hoaxer, and it's really unfortunate that he was able to essentially suppress that information through his fan base and through threats of death, of killing somebody, of trying to maintain his hoax. I mean, he's one of the more extreme. That's why it's kind of like, you know, I'm not letting go off of him. But yeah, man, we definitely need to speak up about them, like the Thinker Thunkers of the world.
Yeah, look at that. This guy was a paid subscriber, and he called him out a few times. It was kind of like, who cares? Didn't give him time of day.
Yeah, yeah,
And that you know, it's like the whole Walmart theory is like, oh, what? So what? We lose a customer, big deal. I'll get another one tomorrow on another bullshit video. That's the way people look at those type of people look at their audience that way. I don't. I look at my audience. I care about every single one. I fight for every subscriber. And when I lose one, I feel kind of bad. But maybe I'm doing something that they didn't like. I don't know. Maybe they deleted their YouTube account. Maybe they're just, it's not my cup of tea. That's fine. But I don't want to ever say anything to hurt anybody's feelings. And good God, you know,
I don't think there's anything wrong with Thinker Thunker having that niche of validating Bigfoot video or Bigfoot evidence. That's fine. But, you know, I think he should draw a line for himself.
Good point, too.
He comes across a hoax, he should say, okay, well, whoa. This is not valid. You know, this is a hoax.
Did we lose Nikki?
Nikki, where'd you go?
Oh no, Nikki just shut her cam down.
Okay, there she is.
Yep. So I went to this format because
now I ruined my camera.
It's a little easier to see. I'll get everybody back, but people are paying money to be.
Nikki is like Bigfoot. She's blurry.
Wow, that's crazy.
I wish my camera would do that.
Stuck with it. No kidding. That would be awesome.
Camera.
Well, we figure out the Bigfoot mystery right there. Yeah. So what's causing the blurriness?
Crystal made a great point. Some people are paying people money to be alone in the woods with these people. That could be dangerous.
Well, absolutely.
Remember, I don't know if you guys were around when Eric Beckchard took Tara Hockey out. And you remember that, Chris? Good God, there was a fight between them, a physical fight between them.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And she ended up filing charges against Beckchard at the time.
Yeah. And Eric had that whole episode on his blog, which is probably not still available now. I don't know. It may be. It was all, he recorded that incident in his blog. It was good. Good reading. Yeah. You know, it's good to you know, to talk about the people who are hoaxing so we don't waste our time on them, you know, like with the Randy Brissons and stuff. It's like people go out and invest time into him. He's not really charging money or doing anything like that, but you know, he's wasting people's time by, you know, creating all these narratives and stuff, and then defending it in a way that is completely illegal, first off, but, you know, it's completely against how research should be done in this subject. And, you know, the good thing is I was actually expecting a lot more negative feedback. That's why one of the reasons why I kind of distanced myself from like Nikki's show and all that stuff, because I didn't want the collateral damage to affect other people. I mean, me and Nikki were talking about it. Because I was expecting, especially with the Wes Germer thing, I was expecting to like just get bombed with stuff. I was expecting to lose lots of subscribers, which I did lose some at the beginning, but then, you know, it kind of went the other way and stuff. But it's amazing that you can now more talk about this stuff and more openly versus what it was like a few years ago. You know, like it's just so much more easier to talk about, and there's less blowback now because people are more willing to accept what's being presented. Not everybody, but a lot of people.
And to furthermore on Cryptic Crystal's remark, Daniel Weeks says Todd charges $3,500. That is correct. I actually got reached out by a firefighter, a retired firefighter from Arizona. He was a retired fire captain who decided he was going to do something adventurous, and he paid Todd $3,500 to go on an expedition of his, and then he spent the day at Todd's house staying overnight instead of a hotel. Very uncomfortable. And then he was taking a tour of the woods and how this tree break is Sasquatch and that tree break is Sasquatch, and that's Sasquatch sign and that's Sasquatch sign, but no Sasquatch. You know, no tracks, no howls, no nothing, no Sasquatch, nothing, zip.
Yeah, so, you know, that's kind of an offshoot of what's happening in the conferences nowadays. You know, it's not anything really new being presented, but people are being charged as if it is, you know, vetted out, and this is truly what's going on. You know, because I heard, like, you know, some of these people charge thousands of dollars just to go speak at a conference and to kind of go talk about the same thing. But, you know, so yeah, it's a business for sure.
I look at, well, it is, but I look at the conferences that, you know, hey, people get to see. There you are. You're all cleared up there now, Nikki.
Oh yeah,
so crazy.
It works.
I can't move. I have to stay like right here. I even took the autofocus off the damn camera, and it still messes up.
So, you know, at conferences, I look at it this way: nobody's forcing anybody to go to a conference. Okay, maybe there's not something new, but I enjoy this person speaking, or I want to hear this person speak, and I want to meet them, and I want to. That's the one thing people pay for at conferences, is to get that interpersonal kind of. Now I get to see the person in the flesh, get to talk to them, get to see whatever they have on their little exhibits that normally happen with speakers. So I think, you know, that's kind of okay, and they're not, but don't offer a product. And then treat it differently. Like, I understand there are some issues with Todd and women taking women out on expeditions, from what I've heard from some sources. Now, I can't verify that, but, you know, remember that kid that found the Sasquatch gloves when he went with Todd standing? Who did Todd have? This little blonde with him. And
he always has like another woman with him, like all these different women. Like, he cycles through them. It's like, where does he meet these people?
Interns.
I would have a joke for a nickname, but I won't say it because there's a woman present.
Yeah, you know, it's Todd's an interesting character, but still beloved by everybody, or by a lot of people. Because when I was doing Jeff's show on Pine Island, you know, we brought up Todd, and he got negative feedback from people actually defending Todd. It's like, geez, man. But those people.
I sent you a PM, Brennan, what that comment would be.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely don't want to say that one.
Family show.
Yeah, family show for sure. But it was good.
Yeah. You know, and a lot of people, and that's kind of funny too, because people that meet me at the conference, they completely different what they expect. You know, I love kids. I love, especially when the kids show up. I gravitate to them and try to get them interested and get them excited. And I'm not larger than life in person, although some people will argue that. Myself, you know, a lot of people don't know I'm kind of introverted.
Oh, me too, big time. Yeah. Like big time. Like I'm shy. Like if I went to a conference, I'm like, God, I hope nobody sees me, or I hope nobody knows.
Oh no, when I go to a conference, I have to put on this persona to go out to conferences. But you know, I'm a very quiet, gentle kind of person. I try to be a very gentle person. I'm not bombastic. I'm not, oh, kill him. I always try to see the back story. You know, I'll give you a good example. You know, we have some kids hanging out in the store, you know, that I work in the other day, and some people, why don't you kick them out? They're creating kind of a ruckus. Let me go over and talk to them. I go over and say, hey, listen, guys, just keep it down to Dover. I don't mind you having a little horseplay here, but just don't make it huge. You're in a corner of the store. You're quiet. You're not doing nothing. Have at it. Well, why didn't you kick them out? Why? Because the trouble they can get in here is a lot less than if they were out on a street somewhere and getting in trouble out there.
Yeah.
Look at these guys. These guys have nowhere to go. What are you going to do? Have them hang out in a street where trouble's real?
Yeah.
Cost them their lifetime in prison, whatever. No, they're fine. And then they turn around and bought stuff. So it's like, look, they're even buying their sodas. They're not out for any bad reason.
Yeah.
You treat people with kindness, you get kindness back.
Yeah, you'll be surprised, you know, on, you know, because some people would be intimidated by that group when they're just probably laughing, having fun. you know, but some people look at it and be intimidated by it, prejudge them and be like, oh, you just got to get out of here. You got to kick them out, not really fully understanding what's going on in the situation and how, you know, just don't treat people that way.
Right. I went up to him and, you know, when I heard a crash, I walked over and I walked over and I just I shook my head. Oh, you want us to get out? No, I just wanted to say he really sucks at catching that ball. And they all started laughing and they all started chuckling. You see, you know, that comes from my experience working. I took time off from my field for about 6 years, and I worked with two groups of people. I worked with developmentally disabled for a while, which taught me patience. They taught me as much as I taught them. They taught me patience. The second group I worked was at-risk youth, and I was a counselor in a group home for them. And it really means stuff to me. I don't like to speak of this, but I got a letter from one of the kids that was in that home 2 months ago. And what he said to me, it's for me. But it brought a tear to my eye, and he wanted to thank me. And when you look at that, it makes life all worth it. That I've changed a life. That I've done something to better that person's life. That's what I feel I'm trying to do here. So I'm just trying to better people's knowledge about this and keep them educated, keep them straight and narrow, keep them out of the weeds, keep them out of the garbage, the false narratives, the people that usurp reality out of this mystery. That is huge. It's always, I mean, I came into this when the internet wasn't such a big thing. There were message boards. There were Yahoo chat groups that would work via email.
I remember that.
But we've had a kinship. We had a kinship. We were in this for the truth, and hoaxers were dealt with quickly. And the hoaxers went away. But now there's platforms that they just won't go away. And they can't go away because they're making lots of money on these platforms.
Yeah.
And people like me and you and Nikki, you know, we struggle to keep, we don't have the mass following on YouTube because we're not peddling garbage. We're not peddling fantasy. We're peddling fact. And unfortunately, some people like fantasy, not fact. Or people can't get by their own confirmation bias.
Oh, some people don't want the truth. They really don't want the facts. They just want that narrative because that makes them feel good about the subject and feel good about themselves. You know, and I had to go about it with someone else here recently about that. You know, that's kind of what the whole thing is. It's we're not all in this subject for the same purposes. And we have to recognize that and not give people like us such a bad time when we do value the truth and like to tell other people like us when somebody is hoaxing and doing nefarious things because we value that stuff, the integrity of the subject.
Right.
Yeah. 99% of the time when you see like a TV interview, they want to go after the guy that, you know, oh, well, I saw Bigfoot step out of the UFO and then he disappeared into a portal. You know, they want to go after the crazy. They don't want to go after the guy that, yeah, you know, he's a family man, police officer, whatever, and something went across the road and he couldn't explain it. You know?
Right.
They want to go after the sensational to make Bigfooters look like Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really offensive. And that's why I don't have the website up anymore, but on my website, I just put up there, you know, if you're a reporter looking for an interview, you know, just hang it up. I don't do them. We don't do that.
So if anybody's listening to the show for the first time, if you want to feel validated, listen to this show because Bigfoot is real.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be something to it that, you know, we're all investing our time into it. You've seen one. I don't know if you've seen one, Chris, but it'd be cool if you did. Yeah. Oh, you saw one?
Oh yeah.
Damn. I'm hoping that's like my big goal is just to see one. I'm not really focused on trying to collect evidence to try and do that, investigation like some of these other guys are doing, like Sasquatch Wizard, Adirondacks, or Central Florida Bigfoot, and some of these other guys. I'm just out there really trying to see one and put myself in position. And if I can collect evidence along the way, great. But if I come across to Bigfoot, I have no real intentions of trying to record it for unless I'm there for a long period of time. But I just want to see it and really kind of just absorb as much information as I can from that encounter versus trying to, go for a camera and I'm missing information and stuff. And
now, Ron, we believe that, but Ron will tell you, I'm a believer, and he's been out in the field with me, and I'm a researcher. So, it's not like, we are, computer pundits.
Yeah, but I mean, but even like the internet detectives are really useful at helping vetting out information and better understanding some of the stuff that we're going through. And so, we all play a valuable role. Some of us are able to do the boots on the ground. Some of us are able to have other skill sets that like I definitely don't have. It's like I rely on so many other people. It's like I feel I'm more of an avatar. I'm stupidly going out there like, all right, I'm gonna try this, try to just do that in hopes of seeing one. But
well, I think Brent, if you live in an area where you may have some activity, you can get out there, but not everybody does. You've got maybe some people live in New York City and may be interested in the subject. There's nothing wrong with doing the research online.
Yeah, absolutely. Fine. Well, I get a lot of people message me about, how they like the videos because I just kind of do tag along videos. I never present evidence. People just like seeing the areas of potential Bigfoot activity and stuff. And every place I go, it has a history of Bigfoot. I'm there for a specific reason,
right? Not
just like going out to the city park or something. It's all specific. And like one of the main areas that I go, they did a standalone Monster Quest episode like many years ago with John Miezinski, Rick Knoll, and some other people. And, there's a lot of good potential out there. I mean, there's areas that people don't go for decades, literally decades. And those are the areas I think that can easily exist. And, just being at the right place at the right time. We've been out there bushwhacking, literally bushwhacking, trying to make way to sandbars, like remote sandbars, trying to find prints and stuff. And, we've literally been everywhere. And we're now at the point where we go to these areas and just try and draw them in, try to bring them in, just try to picture it from their perspective and try and work within that, I guess.
I love it too. People call me the Bigfoot. When they call me a Bigfoot skeptic, yet I have a Bigfoot print on my arm.
Well, yeah, I mean, you are, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being skeptical. Okay, you've got to keep that in the back of your mind. You've got to keep a hold of the critical thinking. You can't jump off and go on the deep end and say, okay, because I've saw a Bigfoot, everything is Bigfoot. Everything is real. No, it don't work that way. Nope. You've got to be critical of what you see. And
every case is an individual case.
Right.
Means nothing to the overall mystery unless it's a positive case. If it's a negative case, it gets pushed aside and we carry on. But we know the beast is out there. Enough people have seen it legitimately. I've seen it. Chris has seen it. There's, you want validation? You can come here. You can go to Nikki's show. You can go to Brent's show.
A lot of the skeptics.
Just because we're saying in this particular case, this is a hoax because of X, Y, and Z, doesn't mean Bigfoot does not exist. Right. People lose that in translation.
There are a lot of people that thought that Leroy Blevins was a skeptic of Bigfoot because he created the Patterson-Gimlin soup, and he was all time. He came out. He was really big on promoting the Patterson-Gimlin film as a scandal. Not real. It was faked. And everybody thought, well, Leroy Blevins must be a Bigfoot skeptic. No, he was not. He'd actually had sightings before, and he actually believed that these creatures do exist from his own sightings. But he just tended to think that the Patterson-Gimlin film was not.
And despite that, Leroy was sure a nice guy.
Sure was, yeah.
He was. He actually approached me when I was at Scarefest one year, gave me a signed copy of his book. We talked for a little while. You know, it's a shame. At least I'm glad I got to meet him. But
yeah, that's the thing. I never did get.
Here's a great example, Chris. Henry May, who because of physical limitations is not a field researcher, but
love Henry.
But damn, he is a good researcher. He knows everything about everything Sasquatch. I don't know how he's keeping up with things now. I just don't know.
Oh, Henry is a human Google.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is. He has lived and breathed Bigfoot Sasquatch, you know, for years.
And by the way, happy birthday, Henry.
Oh yeah.
Today's his birthday.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at that.
And Melissa Hovey's birthday is today, and Steve Alcorn's birthday is today. Happy birthday, folks.
Oh, dang.
Oh, man.
Guys.
Yeah, they all have the birthday on today. Unfortunately, Rick Dyer's birthday is also today, too.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Rick.
Happy birthday, Rick.
Let me wish him
Yeah.
happy birthday.
Man.
I'm going to do it right now. Let's see what he says.
and tell him I reminded you. Tell him I said happy birthday, too, just because.
Can't wait to see that new body, bud.
Yeah. That's fun. Yeah, I like, I don't know, Rick's character. There's so many different type of these characters in the subject that, and so many good ones, like we're just talking about Henry May and stuff. It's like, so many good quality people, and it's a good reason to be a part of the subject.
And exactly, and there's so many people. Like I bunked with Jeff Meldrum for a weekend last year, and man, we had so many great conversations. It just my mind was going to explode by the time it was over with. I had gained so much knowledge just from talking to him for the weekend. What can I say?
He probably snores less than I do.
Now my room was on a different floor. It was a nice big 2-floor condo unit that we ended up getting put up in. It was a great time. Kaiju Ninja said, "Ask Rick if his birthday's really today." No, it is. It is. Anyway, I guess we ought to wrap it up. It's getting to be 3 minutes to 11.
Oh wow!
So I want to. God, time flies.
Yeah, this has been a quick show.
But Nikki, thanks for coming on tonight, and Brent, thanks for coming on tonight, guys.
No, thanks for asking.
Make sure you check out Hairy Man Hoaxes and Hoodwinks Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern for those who.
And Nikki does other videos too. Sometimes she's
Brent, when's your show?
Making
You're doing a live podcast yet or no?
Yeah, sometimes you guys catch me cooking.
But check out Brent's channel over at the Tall Ones.
The Tall Ones, yep.
Yeah, I don't really do lives, but I don't even know what my channel is. It's more like just like a journal of my journey into the subject, really. It's like, no, that's what I'm doing.
Party hard. Yeah, we know it's not real.
Yeah. That government agent. I shouldn't have fed into it either. I'm like, I shouldn't have fed into it, but I stupidly did it. And so now people believe it. And
well, you remember that spoof video I did about Mr. Duffy, where I at the end.
Yeah, he's one of my faves. I guess I'm on his watch list. So.
Kaiju just says he's going to make a channel called The Small One.
I was thinking about having one where it's just like really kind of going after hoaxers and stuff, but that would be
too many channels or too many working parts.
Yeah, I think that's what Zaska would call me, the small ones. Or no, wait, it was Brisson. That was Brisson, yeah. He would call me the small ones, is like they insult me. I'm like, rude.
Hurt my feelings.
I know,
folks. Anyway, folks, next week I believe we're going to have Mr. Jay Bachochin back on. He has an update for us coming up, so that's going to be a good show. More stuff from the Kettle Moraine. And guys, thanks again for coming on. Chris, do your thing.
Yeah, thanks again, Nikki and Brent. Appreciate you guys coming on with us. And I want to thank everybody in our chat. Man, we appreciate you guys. We're so honored to have you. Tickled to death. You guys make the show. It wouldn't be a show without you, you know, and we appreciate you. And everybody's listening on the podcast. You know, I can't name them all off, but there's a bunch of podcasts out there. Please stop by the YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you hadn't subscribed already, do so now. You know, that way it helps with the numbers. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us out a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody hit that like button.
Hit that like button, please. Pretty please on your way out.
We're going on a rave now.
Bigfoot rave.
Ooh. And folks, again, feel free to share this video or share any of the videos on the channel with around. They're good source material. We love you all. Good God, it's good to be back. And folks, everybody have a happy, safe, and healthy week. Everybody, God bless. And hey, keep on squatching. We'll see you all next week, Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Squatch-D TV, Squatchdetective.com, Squatchdetective.tv.
Hey folks, you've been watching Squatch-D TV. Join us each week, Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for the latest on the Bigfoot mystery. As always, we thank you for being our loyal viewers and encourage all to subscribe to our YouTube page at youtube.com/Steve Kulls. As always, have a great week. Stay safe. God bless and keep on squatching.